All right, what's up? Tim Sykes here. Daily midday video. So many stocks, so many lessons, good and bad, whether you nailed it, whether you missed it, whether you sold too soon like I did on solo. Just so many lessons. And this is the key to getting wealthy over time. Even if you did not do very well right now, especially early on in your education, it's okay because this is a marathon, not a sprint. With all these plays, a lot of them are choppy. They're not exact sciences. So don't feel bad if you missed or if you played it, wrong, or if you're just watching and you're just confused because there's so many stocks. That's understandable too. Just do your best and you'll be surprised and shocked at what you can accomplish year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. And that is the mentality to have to really grow your knowledge account, to grow your monetary account. Yes, you have 2 accounts. Let me just remind you, you have to have enough knowledge so that it drips over into your monetary account. You will not grow your monetary account just following hot picks or alerts or some half-assed research from some random person with some random screen name and random photos, not of themselves, but of like TV characters on Twitter. That is the market we find ourselves in right now. It's crazy, but you just have to go with it. So also leave a comment underneath this video saying, I love this market. If you do, if you love the circus that it's become. I'm making literally 5, 10, 15, sometimes even 20 grand in a day lately. And I am trading so sloppily, and conservatively, you'll be shocked. This is my morning so far, roughly 8 grand. I should mention also, we're just a few days away from my market mastery. All day Friday, I'll be giving an all day live webinar. So a lot of you guys ask me, a lot of questions all the time. But if you have a full day with me, I think that I can answer questions when I'm not trading. You can see what it's like, real time. You'll get to see my screen. I'm looking forward to this. As you can tell by the funny faces I make in this video. I'll post a link on how to get into my market mastery just below this video. Friday, June 12th. And also understand, like, if you get into my market mastery, I do these all day webinars literally every month. So you're not just getting it one time, you're getting it often. And we changed the headline. Okay. So like, depending on when you see this video or depending on what market it is, I'm not always making 10 to 15 grand in a day. But that's the circus that we find ourselves in right now. And all you can do is laugh and do your best. I guess probably the best play to start off with, well, I mean, I had a bunch of plays. I've already had 4 plays, just in the first 2 hours of trading. Initially, I went for TLSS morning spike. We got a little bit of a spike, but not much. I actually sold this one near the high. Oftentimes, I've been underestimating TLSS. I think like the last 5 or 6 times I played it, I underestimated it. So when you underestimate a stock and it keeps going further, that should help you adapt. And I was a little more aggressive today on their morning spike. It failed. So now I got to pull back. Maybe I should have been more aggressive during the volatility. Now, because it's not really spiking and bouncing that much, that's when you get more conservative. It's not just like, oh, let me just always be aggressive or always be conservative on a stock. I went for the morning spike. It had news. I actually sold this one pretty well into the highs. Then I went with TMDI. This one I was chasing a little bit. I even said I was chasing. This one is a potential cup and handle, but it's just not a clean breakout above the 140s, 150s. And it's still, I'd have a small gain right now if I was holding like an hour later, but it did not break out. And when you're trading a volatile stock that is quintupled, I don't stick around and wait to find out what happens. So small loss there. Sometimes it does happen. I'm not perfect. I could have eked out a gain, but again, whether I lose a few hundred or make a few hundred, it didn't do what I wanted. So I'm out. And that's how safe I play it. That's why, like, if you do look at my losses, I don't have huge losses. I don't let small mistakes turn into big potential disasters. Now let's get to the 2 plays. Solo, this one I really underestimated. It was a speculative trade, so I'm glad that I pushed it. I'm taking bigger positions because I've been on fire and these stocks have been on fire, and I'm pushing it. So Solo, I was buying. It was kind of choppy here. Okay, like it had spiked in the past. It's a sympathy play to NKLA, which is a giant supernova, which is actually dropping today. I probably should have dip bought this morning, panicked. I think probably the best lesson on this is just to focus on classic lessons, focus on classic patterns. Even though NKLA is a giant stock, higher priced, dropping from 96 down to 55. I actually almost thought about buying like 1,000 shares, not right at the lows. I think I probably would have been on this one when it failed to like panic much after this. So I probably would have been wrong, but I was thinking about buying 1,000 shares here at 66 and just, letting it play out. And I probably would have had to cut losses here at like 62, 63, and I would have lost like 2 or 3 grand. I'm not great at higher price stocks or stocks that get halted. And this stock kept getting halted due to volatility. So I'm kind of glad I didn't play that. Solo I went with because it's a sympathy play. Sympathy plays are in the same sector. I was trading AYRO yesterday into the close. This one actually is fading today. It spiked up nicely yesterday to the 370s, and I traded it. I was in on this breakout here at like 315-ish, I want to say, and I was out like in the 320s. It was not one of my finest things, or 330-ish. I don't know. It was right in here on this breakout, and I sold it way too soon. But this is choppy. Sympathy plays, I'm not going to feel too bad over. SOLO, yes, it's a sympathy play, but the problem is that it's so choppy. So you have a sympathy play, sympathy sector kind of pattern where I'm not like great at it. And then you also have the choppiness. So I'm kind of making excuses, but I made a few cents a share. It just really couldn't break out. I thought about selling it. It actually got up to like 227 during the time I was holding it. And, I could have had a bigger profit, but I was like, no, I'm trying to have patience. And then I gave it more time, and then it dropped. And then I was like, I should have just taken the 227. So not a perfect thing. And then it goes, to the 290s. So it's kind of funny how it works out. Try morning panics, try sympathy plays. Like I said, this is not an exact science. So Solo, just annoying, really annoying. I'll look back at this and say I could have done better, but I'm trying to think like what I could have actually done better. I tried to give it time. I tried to be patient, and I didn't take the profits that, again, this would have been, like a $3,000 or $4,000 profit, which is usually where I take profits. And I didn't take it because I wanted like the $5,000 or $6,000 or $7,000 profit. And as it turned out, this could have been like a $20,000 plus profit. So, I hope that you're understanding, like, I know I'm not explaining this well, but I hope you're understanding that this is not an exact science. Like you try to be more patient, you try to be more conservative, you try to be aggressive. It's constantly adapting and modulating, and different stocks trade differently, different patterns trade differently, the market trades differently. And that might sound very confusing. This is somebody who's been trading for 20 plus years. But, the best thing that you can do is put yourself in the right stock, in the right sector. This is a big percent winner. All of these were big percent winners before I bought them. Okay. TLSS was spiking before I bought it. TMDI was spiking before I bought it. SOLO was spiking before I bought it. So all of them are big percent gainers. And then I'm just trying to piggyback the move. And out of all of these, TLSS, I sold right near the highs. TMDI, it was very choppy, so it could have been a small gain or a small loss. And then Solo, I totally whiffed and underestimated it. And that's a good range of emotions. This is what trading is all about, okay? Like, newbies seem to think like, oh, you've been trading 20 years. You just know everything. It's just magic. That's not reality. The reality of the situation is, I know which stocks are moving. I know which stocks are in play. I know which stocks have breaking news. But, any play can be different. Like Solo is a sympathy play to NKLA, which, is getting crushed right now, even though it's bounced. I mean, it's still way off of its earlier highs in the 90s, right? It's up a little bit on the day. It's up, it's mid-range. The high was like 96, the low was like 56, and right now it's like 76. But it's not doing what it was doing pre-market. AYRO, which is a sympathy play, I mean, this is doing crap. And then Solo is the biggest sympathy play winner today on this one. So I took, this was my move right in here. I was buying this. It's kind of funny to look at in the chart where I'm like analyzing everything just with this little move. And I missed this gigantic move. I would not have held to 296, FYI. I said to follow up sell alert, saying, even if I had been in, I would have been out here at the 240s. But again, this was my goal in the 240s, for my entry just above 210. That would have been near best case scenario, and I would have been out. But choppy stock, not much I can do. I'm saving the best for last because I want to analyze my mistakes and what I didn't do great. And then what I did do great and perfectly was GNUS. GNUS is a recent supernova. Always watch recent supernovas, please. They tend to, even though they're not big percent gainers anymore, they tend to open up opportunity when they intraday panic. This is straight out of my penny stocking framework and penny stocking framework part 2 guides. Stair step up, stair step down, big crash, big bounce, failed bounce now. The morning panic today, the opportunity, first of all, this was a nice morning panic, but this was pre-market. And I was watching it and I was like, why couldn't it just wait till the market opened? Pre-market, the volume just isn't very strong. Although this actually was a really good dip buy opportunity from the 420s up to the 460s. But the volume was so weak and it was so quick. This is what I look for, okay? This is the kind of panic and bounce that I look for near the market open. Unfortunately, it was pre-market, so I didn't trade that. Then I saw this panic and I saw it, it was holding on to like 416-ish, 417-ish. And, it was dropping a little bit, but when it cracked, that opens the door to panic because you have to understand there's a lot of new traders. They don't understand the framework. They don't understand key levels. They just know like high of the day, low of the day. Don't be in a stock that's hitting the low of the day, maybe even short the low of the day. So 416 becomes a very important level, and that opens the panic. I saw a lot of people buying right here at 401. I saw a few other chat rooms. It's always fun to look on the Stocks to Trade social media search tool. A lot of chat rooms were buying this at 4, saying it wasn't going to crack. There was a big wall of buyers at 4, and it didn't look like it was going to crack. But the reason why I traded it is because it did crack. And all those newbies, all those dumbass chat rooms that are full of, random screen names and random pictures of like TV stars and stuff, like it's laughable that other people are listening to that, but that's the circus, because there's so many stocks in play. You pretty much any stock that you pick is going to spike big, and people think that it's a skill. They'll only learn the hard way, like with the Wolf of Weed Street a few years ago when the market turns. But right now, enjoy the circus. Anyways, for me, I saw that at 401. I knew that it was a trap because I was like, okay, maybe it does bounce, maybe it doesn't, but there's not max panic. When that 401 cracked, that opened the max panic. And it was only a minute or two of max panic down to the 380s, but that was enough. I had a good entry. I actually wanted more. I actually wanted like 50,000 shares. I would have gone huge if I had gotten executed, but I only got a small portion of my shares because it was quick. Sold into the bounce at 410-ish. It actually bounced, to 423. Some people were like, why are you selling so quickly? Well, I was taking advantage of that panic from 4 down to the 380s. So I thought that it could get back to the 4s and maybe like 405, 410. That's it. I'm not going to try to hold a stock past, where there should be resistance at 415-ish. And even though it did get to the 420s, you can see this 415 level is now holding as resistance for the majority of the day. So this was my best trade of the day, my biggest profit. And this is where my experience comes in, okay? Like on the other ones, I was a little iffy. They were choppy stocks. I was still overall profitable, but I had some losses. I sold, solo, like I took like 1/10 of the potential profits there. So these three trades, frankly, I was just wrong. Like I was wrong on TMDI, wasn't going to break out big. I was wrong on the morning spike on TLSS, but I handled it well. Solo, I sold way too soon. So I'm having a little profits, but the biggest profits comes when, you're really prepared and you know a pattern inside and out. And that's why I love dip buys and morning panics. And let me just show you like the month that I'm starting here with. This is my month now. The first 9 days, 82,000 on the month, which is crazy. And now year to date, nearly 300,000, nearly triple what I did all of last year. And you'll see the dollar amounts increasing because I'm able to take bigger positions. I'm being more aggressive. Remember, I start the year with a small account every year, and it takes a little while to grow it. I'm conservative. I'm under the PDT rule. Now I'm not. So pretty awesome few weeks in terms of trading. Pretty scary world out there, but I'm literally not even leaving my place. And I have to think like even if there was no quarantine or lockdown or crazy stuff happening, I don't even know if I would leave my place anyways, because there's just so much opportunity. And the fact that, I've made $8,000 this morning, but solo, I left another like 4 or 5 grand from my probable exit, or actually would have been my definite exit in the 240s. But just seeing what it can do going up to 3-ish, that should help you understand that there is so much damn opportunity. And before I go, let me just congratulate a few students. I'm sorry, there's a lot of you. Bruce made 771, Tanner, HTZ. I didn't even trade HTZ. This is a beautiful morning panic and spike. You want to dip buy something. This goes down to the 3s, bounces to the 4s, then comes down again to the 3s, and then all the way up to the 5s. Again, I'm not great at stocks that halt or bigger companies like that, but props to, Tanner and John Papa made $2,000 on it. Robito was on IZEA. IZEA doubled overnight. This pile of junk, this steaming pile of poo. Pretty amazing run up from 60 cents to 260. Congrats to Roboito and a few others. Caesar banked on WLL and HTZ. WLL and a lot of oil plays and energy plays are just getting crushed. Some people said like, oh, wow, I'm surprised that they gapped down. Why? They've been running for several days. Some of you are just greedy, like buying a stock and thinking that it's going to do well on day 2, day 3. No. A few other people made money on TLSS. And sorry, there's way too many things going on. Kevin made some money on Solo. Taylor made some money on MIST. MIST was a nice spiker. The Stocks to Trade breaking news tool caught this. I saw a few people buy it in the 4s or the 5s, selling it in the 6s. I think it even got to 7. Yeah, it got to 7 plus. So lots of opportunity. You take it one trade at a time. By the way, Tim Grittani made over $250,000 yesterday. He doesn't want me like bragging about it, but I can't help but mention it because he is my top student. He's now closing in on 12 million in profits. And he started with 1,500. So to be able to make $250,000 in a day, like I still get messages from some people where they're like, I don't know if there's enough money to be made in penny stocks. And they don't even realize that, forget my little $8,000 in a day or in a morning or my, 80 grand in like 9 days now. Like literally, if you take bigger size, if you study, if you get experience, you can make $100,000, $200,000 in a day in this market. It blows my mind that more people don't see this opportunity. But I can't force people. If you have doubts, if you don't want to study, if your parents or your friends think that this is a scam, then don't do it. That's the beauty of being real, okay? I don't need any unsure or non-dedicated students. I'm already overwhelmed. I think you can get a little sense of that in these videos. So if you do want to learn, if you do want to study, you're welcome to. All I can try to do is pass down these lessons. Props to so many students. Again, I'm going to post a link to this video or to this event on Friday just below this. And when you sign up with the Market Mastery, it's a one-time fee and you get access to this event, monthly. And it's pretty crazy. This Friday is going to be insane. I I got to go to sleep extra early Thursday night because as you can see, there's just so many plays and I'm only capitalizing on a small chunk of it. But at least I'm capitalizing, and I hope that you're capitalizing or at least learning too. I'll see you guys in the chat room. Remember, leave a comment underneath this video saying I love this market if you love all these plays as much as I do.